Thinking about this just a little bit as I continue to ponder how best to make use of this space. And one of the things in my mind is that when I first started talking at a camera, which was, man, we're looking at like 10 years ago now. I don't even know what the date was. It was a long time back now, for me at least. When I first did it, I remember on one of the initial pictures that I put up at the end with the music that ended up staying all the way through, everything, was the word VLOG, vlog, video log. And I know I picked it up. I didn't make that up. It was somewhere back then, and then I dropped it pretty quick because it just sounded so silly. I remember Todd Wilkin asking me issues, etc., introducing me to the vlog, and I was like, that just sounds so dumb. But the idea behind the vlog, the idea behind the vlog is that there is just this regular kind of checking in, streaming, whatever it might be. And in many ways, what was that, but it wasn't. It became a show, right, instead. Anyhow, so I didn't know, but apparently vlogging is still a thing. Like there are people who do this, and it's popular enough that they have like really big reach just for talking about stuff in general, which I guess that's kind of interesting. I was researching lights. So there's a light in my face right now. I was researching that, and it was just these two guys were talking about cameras and angles and lighting and all that stuff, and then they were just dropping the word vlogging, and it was just like, ugh, that word again. But the idea came back to me now, which is um, what would happen if I just talked to you, right? And not that I don't, I think what I'm going to try to do, but see, I don't want to tell you what I think I'm going to try to do because the only negative feedback I've gotten from doing anything on this is one person saying, false promises. So I don't want to give any promises. I think I know what I want to do. This can be like on purpose, right? But what if I just tuned in, right, and just said hi, and then said stuff and said what's going on? So that's what I'm doing as I think about it right now. I was just thinking about what if I just did that. It's about the fifth time I had that thought, and I finally said, "Well, I'm sitting at my desk. I've got this stuff I just all set up. Why don't I just do it and then talk about that?" So that's the idea for a second here, and we'll see. Promises, right? What can be? There are two ways to look at entrepreneuring. There are two ways to look at trying new things in the goal of making better things, right? Entrepreneurship is not about money. It's about making the world a better place. And people who are good entrepreneurs know that. They maybe can get rich, but they do it by realizing there's a need and they seek to fill that need. As you do that, as a good entrepreneur, it requires something that most people in the world are uncomfortable with. And I'm actually uncomfortable with it to some extent. I'm not a risk taker by nature. But it requires a willingness to fail. And not just to fail and just stay failed, but to fail in the pursuit of better knowledge, right? To find out what did I do that didn't work so I can learn how to do what did work. And so if you ever have been frustrated with me for trying too many things, I'm sorry. But that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm testing stuff, right? I'm trying to figure out what works and what doesn't work. And well, that can lead to a little herky-jerky, can it? Now, let's try this, let's do that. I was going back and doing a little work to make sure that the information in the details of the videos on this channel from the former organization that I'm not going to mention so that it doesn't create a copyright issue here. I was going back, making sure all those details acknowledge that that organization no longer exists. And so anything in the videos that say give money to this organization, like those links don't work. And none of those links are available now in any of the past videos in the notes, right? As I was doing that, I realized there was this point at which I was really flailing trying to figure out. Like I did the fix, right? And then there was, what was the other thing? There were, and so I can get how that would have been like, what are you doing, Fisk? I'm not going to go out in the history of where I was emotionally at that point. Sleep apnea, holy moly, that was a thing, is a thing. But what I want to say is that if you're going to watch me, don't get mad at me for trying new stuff because I'm going to try new stuff. So I do. It's fun. I lose, I fail, I learn. It's better next time. So, and then I think there is a lesson for life in this. I don't know if it's a biblical lesson for life per se, but there's a lesson for life in this that if you want to get better, you're going to have to be willing to fail. to try a new thing, see if it works. Take a new tool, see if it works. I mean, look, my wife will tell you, when I go to a restaurant, and my dad's the same way, when I go to the restaurant, I order the same thing. I go to the same restaurant, order the same thing, right? I don't like change, huh? And yet I also don't like things that I don't like things that suck. And so I want things to be better. And particularly, I mean, you gotta admit this, right? Like Lutheranism on YouTube sucks. Brian's pretty good, and so that's out there. And there may be a few others I don't know about, like if you're small and hiding in a corner. But frankly, Christianity on YouTube sucks. Yeah, and it's like a Wild West marketplace for ideas still to this day. And so what I want to do is find good ways to reach that. The same is true for online podcasting and radio. We have such a small voice in a world that is just gigantic, and these tools are at our hands. So forgive me, bear with me for trying different ways to leverage these tools to get the information out. So if you haven't paid attention for a while, you're like, where was Fisk? Look, I've been doing live radio every morning for almost 3 years now. Yeah, and it's got a half-life on that thing, but it was an attempt to say, can this work? Is this what needs to be done? Can I learn from this? Can I use this? And I think it was good. So if you want to find that, revfisk.com, by the way, you can find most of what I've been doing recently, and it's where new stuff will go as well. You can also, therefore, at revfisk.com, you can find the most recent radio stuff where I've been live streaming it with video to Facebook for a couple of months now. That's been an interesting experiment. This is coming out of that experiment. I think this will be better than that experiment. So, yes, so it's not like nothing's been going on. I've been sitting dead weight, but I do think that what I have been doing has not been able to have the impact that YouTube did. Yeah, YouTube has a particular gift to it. So I want to come back to that. I want to bring what I learned, and it's just going to start by me saying, hello, I'm going to talk to you right now today. So for fun, I'm also messing with, so this is all test still, right? I'm messing with this program called Ecamm Live. It's pretty cool. It seems pretty smooth. It doesn't seem to have a way to let me do music, which kind of bothers me a little bit, but I know I can do video. I haven't done all the tutorials yet, but it lets me see your comments on the side, which is a pretty sweet thing here. And I haven't looked at anything you've said because I've just been talking at you so far. So just keep testing. Thank you, Amy. And good to hear your voice. Thank you, Colin. That's not Jordan Cooper. What? I don't know Jordan. I don't listen to Jordan. I have not read Jordan. So that's my thoughts on Jordan. Jordan's out there trying hard. Good for him. I don't know. I really don't know. Phil Stevenson says, my wife always tells my kids that when they try something new, fake it till you make it. Well, that's interesting. So there's a TED Talk you can still find out there that's based on this idea, where a study was done with like your body language. Like if you make yourself stand in like strong positions, it will actually impact the way that you then act and do, and so you can kind of convince yourself into better behavior or more confident behavior. So there's this massive TED Talk on it that was very, very famous, still out there, really big, lots of views for a TED Talk even, and yet the science has been unable to be replicated, and so it's been debunked as false science. So I don't know what to make of fake it till you make it, but because I don't like the fake it part either. There is something about if you do it even not wanting to do it, you still did it, right? And this idea that I have to feel what I'm doing for it to be good, or for me to like it, or for me for it to really be me. That's a really romantic, like literally old school intellectual romanticism idea that is patently false, as opposed to the idea of duty, right, which is to do the right thing because it's the right thing. But then there's also it's not fake it till you make it. It's practice, right? It's practice. The first time a kid tries to make a layup, he doesn't make it. And he wasn't faking the layup, right? He just sucked. And he needed to try again and get stronger and do better. So I'm not totally against what you said there, Phil, but I don't know. I don't know if I like the language quite as much. Brenoir, thank you for being glad to watch. And Jolanta, Poland, sweet. One day back, I'm in Poland. Look at that. That is fantastic. Ninja Cell. Uh-oh. Where is he? He's probably here. Thanks for the stuff. Yes, I'm not going to say that name now, just because it's the past. But you're welcome, and it was good, and it's still there, and you can always find it. It just isn't an organization anymore. So good. Keep watching it. Keep sharing it.